How's it going, guys? I'm your bro Taylor,
And I'm your bro Ryan.
and today's video is going to be about the 10 cars that typically have the lowest cost of ownership, aka you're not spending so much money on maintenance and repairs throughout the lifetime of the car. Because we saw that you really enjoyed our video on the best cars under $10,000, so we wanted to hit another video a little bit different where it's more geared towards maintenance costs.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting. You'll spend it and be broke again.
So this list is going to have a lot of different numbers in it. And we're going to go over the cost of ownership over the course of 10 years. But we're also going to talk about the 1 year on average cost and at the 10-year mark, the 1 year average cost. And we're going to talk about the chance of needing a repair. So these are all factors you should consider when looking at your next vehicle. So starting our list off with number 1, the Tesla Model 3. The Tesla Model 3 cost of ownership over 10 years is $3,587. That is ridiculously low. The annual cost at year 1 is $169. At year 10, the annual cost is closer to $610. That cost goes up over time, which makes sense
Yeah.
because you have more maintenance issues. You need more tires, brakes, all of that because it's older car. That's going to work with every single car, no matter what it is. And lastly, the chance of needing major repairs is 8.6%. That is very low. 8% chance of needing a major repair. I'll take that all day.
Yeah. And of course, these numbers are just average. We're not guaranteeing that you're not going to have to
Correct.
deal with a random repair because that does happen with any car that we list here. So if you get one of these cars and you're like, the alternator just went out day one, that does suck. And hopefully that the dealership or someone will help you out with that. But it can happen. Cars, are so unpredictable in a way. So these are just the average numbers. And moving right along to another sexy car is the Toyota Prius. So the 10-year cost of ownership is just over $4,000. The annual cost in year 1 is $155 on average, and by year 10 it usually bumps up to around $727 a year. Now the chance of needing a major repair is still only 11.2%, which I get is an increase from the Tesla, but still basically a 10% chance that you're going to need a major repair is fantastic.
And we all know them, we all love them. Toyotas are just known to be reliable. So going right up next on the list is the Toyota Corolla. The Toyota Corolla 10-year cost of ownership is $4,087. The 1 year cost is about $150 annual. And then at year 10, the annual cost is closer to $750. The chance of needing a major repair is very similar to the last one at 11.9%.
And now moving on to an even sexier model of the Prius is the Toyota Prius Prime. The 10-year cost typically is around $4,100. The annual cost in year 1 is around $164, and by year 10 it jumps up to about $736 on average. Still, the chance of needing repair is only at 11.2%.
So running right into the next one, Toyota Camry. The Toyota Camry 10-year cost of ownership is about $4,200. The annual cost in the first year is about $160. The annual cost in year 10 is about $766. And the chance of needing a major repair of that 10-year period is the same as the others so far, about that 11.9%.
And moving right along is the Toyota Avalon. Now, the 10-year cost of ownership is around $4,400. Annual cost year 1 is around $180, and by year 10 it's up to about $787. The chance of needing a major repair, again, being kind of repetitive here, is about 11.9%. So seeing the likelihood of needing a major repair with all these Toyotas under 12%, that's super encouraging. I mean, obviously Toyota is known as a pretty respectable brand, so it's really not too much of a surprise there.
Yeah, their reliability is very good, and their overall 10-year cost of ownership is extremely low. Those are good cars you're going to want to look at. So going into the next one, what brand is it? Tesla. We're looking at the Tesla Model S. The 10-year cost of ownership for the Tesla Model S is $4,566. The annual cost in year 1 is about $267. Annual cost in year 10 is about $700. And the chance of needing a major repair is back down to that 8.6%.
Staying right on brand, we're continuing with the Tesla Model Y. Now, this one's 10-year cost is $4,732 on average. The annual cost year 1 about $217, and by year 10 about $813. The chance of needing a repair is still sub 12% at 11.7, so still very encouraging numbers.
So we're pushing on further in the list. we're looking at the Mitsubishi Mirage. The Mitsubishi Mirage 10-year cost of ownership is just shy of $5,000. The annual cost in the first year, you're looking at on average about $160. And annual cost in year 10, you're looking at just shy of $1,000. Chance of needing a major repair is about 15%. That's actually a pretty big increase from the annual cost in the beginning is only about $160 to by year 10, you're looking almost $1,000 a year.
Yeah.
It's a little wild.
Yeah, but it's crazy to think that these are still the top 10 cars. And you'll look at it, I mean, it's easy to spend $1,000 year one for some models and
Very
everything.
true.
I mean, we're not going to call anybody out, I guess. Yeah, we won't. But there are some brands that just aren't really known for their reliability. And it's not a surprise when you hear, like, oh, yeah, I had to take it back into the shop. And it's like, well, you kind of were asking for it almost.
Yeah, certain brands when we were looking at this reached all the way up to $25,000 of 10-year cost of ownership.
Yeah,
that's insane when you're talking about less than $4,000. A lot of these.
And of course, we got to round out this list with another Toyota, and this one is the Toyota Supra. The average 10-year cost is just shy of $5,000. The annual cost in year one around $220, and by year 10, it averages around $872. The chance of needing a major repair is still only 12.6%. Now, I know you're like, oh, well, that's kind of high, but when you think about it and how often you see people around you having to deal with a major repair, I mean, I've had a complete engine replacement in my car and everything. It's just common that you're at least at some point going to deal with a major repair. And to be around 10% for a lot of these cars over a 10-year span, wow. A breath of fresh air, really.
And I know 11 such an ugly number, but we'll add an 11th on here just so you don't have to say all you heard is Toyota. But 11th on the list is the Honda Civic. The Honda Civic 10-year cost of ownership is $5,250 roughly. The annual cost in year one is about $180. And then year 10 annual cost is closer to $1,000. And the chance of needing a major repair in that 10-year span is 15.6. So Honda is still a great brand to look at. But just based on this list alone, they're the 11th, and then it changes up a little bit as you go down this list if you continue. But for the most part, you can see Tesla's very low cost of ownership, and chance of needing a major repair is extremely low.
Oh, yeah.
Toyota, the same thing. Many, many models on both of those brands that show their cost of ownership extremely low, meaning they're very reliable, and the chance of needing a major repair, very low, meaning they're very reliable, sturdy cars that'll last you a long time.
So you really can't make a bad decision with any of these cars. Now, again, disclaimer, you may deal with something major year one with any of these cars. We're not saying that it's a guarantee that
Hopefully they have a warranty.
Yeah, that's true. But just on average, it's a safer bet with these brands and everything. So again, let us know down in the comments if you had an experience, good or bad, with these cars. I know some people are like, I took care of my Corolla and I've had it since the 90s kind of thing, and it's still running just fine. So please let us know down in the comments below what your experience is with this or any other car. Be like, okay, we'll definitely stay away from this one because I've had to spend $2,000 every month on it. So,
and as always, we look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.
I just got so abruptly.
You did. I thought you were going.
I was gonna add another thing, but then I stopped and like, nah, I'm just gonna stop.
I was like, yeah, I paused for a second. I'm like, I guess he's done there.
So
that's my cue to take over. Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting. You'll spend it and be broke again.